He is our resident imp. He is funny and mischievous and tells truly the best stories around. We listen to him because we learn from him all the time. Mr. Lou Charloff.
About my modesty, she said nothing. Good evening and Happy New Year. Let's go back about 35 years. At that time, I was a long-time member of a very good amateur theater group in New York State, Westchester County, White Plains. And I was a character actor. And, you know, I played Uncle Harry and the next door neighbor and the leading man's best friend. I was in one workshop play that the group liked so much that they decided to enter it into an upcoming amateur theater festival that was going to take place on a 3-day weekend. Some 25 amateur theater groups had decided to enter the festival, and of course each one of them brought with them a play that they were very proud of. And so, in actual matter of fact, the performances were great. The competition was keen. And the play that I was in was an Edward Albee play, The Zoo Story. And I was absolutely delighted and astonished to win an award as the best actor in a supporting role. I don't talk about it very often, but I remain fiercely proud of that award. Once in a while, I did get to play the lead in some show or other. I was the romantic lead in a play written by Patty Chayefsky, and yes, I got the girl. I was the lead in a lovely play called The World of Shalom Aleichem. At about the same time that I was doing such magnificent acting, there was another man who was doing the same job even better. Some of you may recall his name, may recognize it. Most of you won't. He was Morris Karnofsky. On stage, he played the leading role very often, and I saw him do King Lear in Stratford, Connecticut, magnificently. In the movies, and he must have been in at least 60 movies, he always played a supporting part, never the lead. He was a diplomat, he was a ruler of a country, he was a financier, a banker, he was a spy, he was a father. He was, in fact, George Gershwin's father in the biography movie. He played famous writer. He portrayed Anatole France in Paul Muni's The Story of Emile Zola. And he did every single part wonderfully. The man simply did not know how to be a bad actor. At that time, there was a theater in New Haven, Connecticut. It may still exist, I don't know. It's called The Long Wharf. And they would put on about 6 plays a year. And my wife and I and a number of our friends had subscriptions, yearly subscriptions for several years. And one Sunday we went to see a matinee performance of a play by Chekhov, The Cherry Orchard. And the best thing in the play was the part of an aged, senile, hard of hearing, nearsighted, stupid, old male servant portrayed wonderfully by Morris Karnofsky, easily the best member of the rather large cast. When the play was over, my wife and I and our friends, Bernie and Celia, got into the car to drive home, and Bernie suddenly said, "Hey, look, there goes Morris Karnowski. And sure enough, there was Karnowski walking from the theater to the restaurant at the end of the block to fortify himself for the evening performance. On stage, he had the strength and the power of a wonderfully talented actor with decades of experience. But he was in his 80s, and off stage, he was a rather small, old Jewish man wearing glasses this thick, walking with a cane, accompanied by a young man, perhaps 22 years of age, whose job, it was obvious, was to see to it that Mr. Karnowski did not fall down. Bernie said to me, "Lou, go and talk to him." And I said, "No, no, 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 no." He said, "Go on, Lou, you're dying to talk to him." They all pushed me out of the car, and I went running over and I caught him just at the door of the restaurant. And I said, "Mr. Karnowski, I won't keep you long, but give me just a moment. I just want to tell you how very much I enjoyed your performance today and how wonderful it was to see you again." And he said, "Thank you." And I said, "If I could steal just one more moment, I want to tell you that not long ago, I played Aaron Katz in an amateur production of The World of Shalom Aleichem. And during the rehearsal period, I became terrified when I found out that my part had been played by Karnowski." And he looked at me and he said, "Your part?" I have never been put in my place more adroitly by anybody.